What's going on, everyone? Happy Saturday to everyone. Hopefully everyone is staying safe and healthy. And if you had to take a COVID test, hopefully you have tested negative. Welcome to the Saturday edition of the Pandemic Update for Saturday, June 10th, 2023. If you're new to my channel and this is the first time you've clicked on one of my pandemic updates, thanks for tuning in. This is where we do the latest on the COVID-19 pandemic, other health-related issues and viruses that are going around, celebrity health news, sports health news, and we basically go through a lot of data all across the U.S. and around the world. Starting out today like we normally do with India, India actually has seen a slight increase in the cases in the last 24 hours, logging 186 new cases, but they did record no new deaths today, and their caseload is down to 2,501. Moving on to this, Felipe Ghana. Remember, we reported on him a few months ago. If you want to go back and look at his case, you can do that on my website, which is listed down below, datareport.info, and he tested positive about a month ago, and apparently he is still recovering from it, and he was supposed to be in another bicyclist race, and that's not happening because he is dealing with complications of long COVID. So yes, he is still trying to recover from the virus at this time. Moving on to our next story, and this is up in Ontario. We've reported on a few of these lately. Here's another one. Entire facility, new COVID-19 outbreaks hit Milton neighborhoods. So multiple retirement communities up in Ontario are now seeing COVID outbreaks. And remember, we reported on this one the other day in Portland, Maine. Well, Portland nursing home sees a surge in COVID-19 cases. 66 cases of COVID-19 have been reported since May 14th, and we now know that it is infecting 34 residents and 32 employees. So that is really concerning that we're still seeing this many people test positive in nursing homes, especially because we know testing is down in nursing homes at this time. Alrighty, moving on to this. This has to do with the flu. Unseasonal flu epidemic hits Japan amid lower immunity after COVID. And yes, a number of schools across Japan have been closed due to mass infections of seasonal influenza. And a lot of this is being caused, or they're saying it's being caused by the recategorization of COVID-19 as Category 5 disease under the Infectious Disease Control Law, along with relaxation of infection control measures. So because they're not taking as many steps to prevent COVID-19, well, other viruses are now being able to increase because there's not much immunity. People have not been infected by these for a long time. So when you have a large number of people uninfected with little immunity, you end up with an increasing number of cases that tends to be higher than normal. We're watching it happen in Australia, New Zealand, and I've said it before, I'll say it again. It's a bad sign of what's to come in the fall here in the United States. Moving on to our next story here, Uganda's longtime president says he's going to take a forced leave after testing positive for COVID. So remember the other day we reported on him testing positive? Well, now he is going to take a leave of absence, and he is going to go into isolation, which that is some good news. Alright, briefly, I do want to show you this. Remember the wildfire smoke in the Northeast? You see here on this satellite loop, there's still some cloud cover in the Northeast, but one thing you can see, it's a heck of a lot clearer. There's still a slight bit of haze, but it is much clearer than it has been in recent days. Taking a look at Walgreens. Walgreens this week, the national positivity was 23.5%. Prior week is 22.9%. Difference of 0.6%. Total tests, 1,758. Prior week was 2,440. That was up by 0.6% was the increase in the positivity. And let's just take a look at one of the states, shall we? Today we will take a look at Utah. Utah's 11.8%. Prior week was 11.1%. That's an increase of 0.7%. Testing is down 17 versus 27. Alrighty, this day in COVID pandemic history, we do have two things today. On June 10th of 2020, the number of confirmed COVID-19 cases in the U.S. surpassed the 2 million mark. And moving on to our second thing, in June 10th of 2022, the global market for N95 masks is predicted to reach $11.8 billion by 2026. I'm wondering if that's still going to happen since so many people don't use these masks anymore. You know, these things right here, N95s. $11.8 billion? I don't know. Maybe there's a way we can check on that. Not really sure. Haven't done any research on it, but in case you have stopped masking, if your area is in high prevalence, you should continue to mask. If you're going to be in the public, if you're going to be around other people, you should be masking because it only takes one case of COVID for you to get infected. And you know, masks are good for a whole slew of different things. Seasonal flu, RSV, allergies. Say you're going to go outside and do some gardening and you're going to be around a lot of plants that you may be allergic to. A mask can help you with that. Alrighty, moving on to our next thing here. National wastewater. All 4 regions are either flat or dropping. No regions in the United States at this time are rising. I actually put out a tweet yesterday saying these are some of the lowest numbers we have seen in a long time for wastewater. And now is the time that if you need to get a doctor's appointment in, maybe you have a slightly riskier event coming up down the line where you're going to be gathering with people. Location dependent, of course, and let's go to the CDC map. Location dependent, as long as you're in a darker blue area, which is low, which even that's not 100% safe. Now is the time that you can do that because we are not going to see this map. Trust me, we are not going to see the map stay this way. At some point in time, I don't know when, some point in time, we're going to see these numbers go up again. We're going to see more coloring reappear on the map. So if you want to take advantage of a period where it is a little bit safer to go out and do some activities, now is the time to do that because eventually it is going to change. I don't know what variant's going to cause it to change, but it will change. We will, by the way, have the full wastewater update tomorrow. While most sites do appear to be dropping, there are some sites that actually are rising. We'll take a look at all that tomorrow in the wastewater update. Taking a look at the latest variant update, if you haven't seen my variant proportion update, where I go region by region, there's 9 or 10 regions in the United States. I did that update yesterday, so check that. It's just a couple videos before this. XBB.1.5 is still dominating at 39.9%, but it's not over 50% anymore. Variant soup has made things very jumbled. XBB.1.16, the one most people are watching, is at 18.2%. XBB.1.91 is at 12.5%. XBB.1.16.1 is at 8.4%. XBB.1.92 is at 8.4%. XBB 2.3 is at 6%. XBB is at 3%, and XBB.1.5.1 is at 1.6%, with a whole bunch of variants below 1%. Moving on to this, as you know, the areas with the most ER visits right now have been in the Northeast. And coincidentally, that is some of the areas where we are seeing a few wastewater sites rising. Taking a look at a few wastewater sites on this wastewater scan site that we've been using lately. Today we will take a look at one, and let's go to Houston, or just north of the Houston area, and we'll take a look here. How about Woodlands? And I'm going to move myself to the left so you can see these charts. Coronavirus is dropping here. No flu problems. No RSV problems. Looks like it went up there briefly. And then HMV, doesn't look like there are any problems with that right now. And norovirus, it is there, but it's dropping, and no monkeypox is detected in this area. We'll take a look at another wastewater site. How about we come down to Atlanta, shall we? And let's see what's going on here at the Clayton water site in Atlanta, Georgia. COVID at this site, it is rising. It's low, but it is rising at this time. Influenza, no problems. RSV, no problems. HMV, those problems have dissolved and dropped. And monkeypox, no monkeypox cases detected by the light grayish blue color. And look at this, norovirus. There is some norovirus concerns here. Not terribly high, but it's something you want to pay close attention to, especially in the senior living facilities where we do know they can tend to happen. Already moving on to New Jersey. Taking a look at New Jersey, they have 202 people in the hospital. And I'm surprised. New Jersey has 69 out of 70 hospitals reporting today. In the ICU, 21 people are in the ICU. And moving myself back to my normal spot, as we check the ventilator situation, just 9 people on a ventilator in New Jersey today. Moving on now to what data I can share with you from Pennsylvania. 750 EMS incidents in Philadelphia County yesterday. That is higher than the previous day. The previous day was in the upper 600s, so something we'll have to watch. And we can actually do a live look-in at the suburbs. Let me refresh this, make sure it's up to date. And Montgomery County, which is just outside of Philadelphia, not that busy. I was watching busy times in Chester County just about 20 minutes ago before recording this video. Looks like it's not as bad right now, but you do see we have sick person, another sick person, respiratory difficulty, and a stroke. At one point earlier, there were 3 or 4 strokes at once, and that's relatively concerning. And I've been listening to dispatches lately. Locally, you don't get the age of the patient, but if you listen to Central Pennsylvania, you do. And I've been hearing some strokes at some relatively young ages. Yesterday I heard one, I think they were 20 or 21 years old. That's concerning to hear, my friends. We shouldn't be hearing people having stuff like that so frequently at such a young age. New York State did not update today. Our next update out of New York State will be on Monday. 338 new cases were reported in yesterday's update. 4.3% positivity. The 7-day average is 3.3%. Taking a look at New York State hospitalizations, like I said, they have not updated since yesterday, and we can zoom this in to the most current number. Statewide is at 514, and 55 people are in the ICU. Texas did update this week. Texas had 3,963 new cases this week. The previous week was 3,981. And when we come down to hospitalizations, 601 versus 635. That's down by 34. Fatalities, 30 versus 37. That's down by 7. Already, before we get to the international COVID update, I do want to take a look at this week's flu numbers in the United States. And you can see here, New York City is still at high levels of flu. District of Columbia is still at moderate levels of flu. Then we do have high levels of flu in Puerto Rico. And look at this, California. Now there's multiple different categories. You have minimal, low, moderate, high, or very high. And California has moved up to just one step below moderate, now at low levels of flu. So that is concerning to see. And also now, low levels of flu being reported in Florida, minimal in New Mexico, minimal in Virginia, and the rest of the country is not of concern at this time. Puerto Rico, we're still watching these high cases of flu at this time, which is relatively concerning because it's been going on for multiple months now. Alrighty, moving on to the international pandemic. Internationally, we see around the world cases are down 45%, deaths are down 38%, but there are some places that are rising with cases or deaths. South Korea cases are down 65%, deaths are down 81%. Australia cases are now down 17%, deaths are up 7%. France cases down 14%, deaths are down 3%. Then we come down here to New Zealand, cases down 59%, deaths are down 45%. Thailand, cases are up 4%, deaths are up 62%, 68 deaths versus 42. Then we come down here to Guatemala, where cases are up 36%, deaths are flat as they have not reported any deaths. Bolivia, cases are up 82%, 887 versus 488. 2 deaths versus 0 deaths, which makes a 200% increase in deaths. Bangladesh, cases are up 24%, and 5 deaths this week reported versus 0 the previous week. And we come down here to Ireland. Ireland cases are down 48%, and deaths are flat week over week. And we will end it today on Poland, where cases are down 34%, and deaths are down 14%. Alrighty, that does it for today's pandemic update. Tomorrow we will have the Sunday wastewater video, and if we get enough news between now and tomorrow, we will have another pandemic update again tomorrow. If you like this video, give it a thumbs up. If you want to see more content like this, subscribe to my channel down below. I will see everyone again tomorrow for the wastewater update, which should be out between, I'm going to say 10 a.m. and 1 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. Until I see you all again next time, stay safe everyone, and thanks for watching.